What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be looking at my round 17 AFL tips, as well as having a look at how we did back in round 16. So let's do that first of all. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I did back in round 16. So it looks like I got a total of what's this, 6 out of 9 tips. It's not really telling me how I did, but I think I got 6 out of 9. So we just take a look at how I did. I tipped the Lions to beat the Tigers, got that correct. I tipped the Swans to beat the Cats, got that correct. I tipped the Crows to beat the Roos, got that correct. I tipped the Dogs to beat the Dockers, got that correct. I tipped the Pies to beat the Suns, got that correct. I tipped the Power to beat the Bombers, just got that one correct. I tipped the Blues to beat the Hawks, got that correct. I tipped the D's to beat the Giants, didn't get that one correct. And I tipped the Saints to beat the Eagles and got that one correct. So I actually got 8 out of 9 tips, not 6 out of 9 tips, 8 out of 9 tips. So that was a pretty good round for me on the tipping side of things. Having a look at where that leaves me in my own tipping competition, that puts me in 23rd spot. 23rd spot now I am in. Out of 37 participants, I'm on a total of 86 points as well. Having a look at who's on top of my tipping comp, we've still got Kev's Magpies, who's on a total of 96 points and got a total of 6 out of 9 tips last round, but it is getting very close at the top. There's a 95, there's a 94, there's a few 90, well, there's one 93, there's a few 92s. So it is getting a little bit close at the top, but Kev's Magpies is still on top of my tipping comp ladder. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at my round 17 AFL tips. Alright, we're kicking off round 17 with a pretty big clash between the Tigers and the Swans at the MCG tonight, 7:20 p.m. The Tigers are coming off that pretty big loss against the Lions last round, while the Swannies, they're coming off a draw against the Cats. I do think this is going to be a very interesting game to watch. The Swans are currently 13th on the ladder, while the Tigers are 15th on the ladder. It's a tough game to tip because before the game against Brisbane, the Tigers had actually won 3 games in a row. But I don't know. I just feel like the Swans are going to be a little bit too good for the Tigers in this game. I know the Tigers are gaining back Prestia and Martin and all that. But yeah, I feel like the Swans, you know, they're starting to find a little bit of confidence. I do feel like they should have beat the Cats or beaten the Cats last round if it wasn't for their inaccurate kicking. I do think they would have won that game, especially the chance with Robbie Fox running into goal and he hits the post. But yeah, I do think the Swans are finding a little bit of confidence in themselves. I'm really impressed with how Sheldrick's going in their side as well. But yeah, I do think the Swans, they're finding a little bit of confidence in themselves. So it's like the 3rd time I've said that, I know. But it is true. And yeah, I do think they're going to be a little bit too good for the Tigers in this game. Yeah, I do think, you know, it's going to be a majorly competitive game. I do think that. It normally sort of is between the Tigers and the Swans, especially at the MCG as well. But yeah, I do think, you know, the Swans, they'll be able to get the job done in this game. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Swans in this one over the Tigers. Next up, we may have the game of the round on Friday night. It is between the Western Bulldogs and my Pies. The Dogs are coming off that 29-point win against the Dockers, while my Pies are coming off that 78-point win against the Suns. What a classic game this should turn out to be. I mean, it is at the Dogs' home ground of Marvel Stadium, and the Dogs, I'm not going to lie, they've been our bogey side a bit. over the past few years. We've struggled to beat them, and even when we do beat them, it's not by a big margin. So this should be a very entertaining game of footy. The Dogs are coming off 2 wins in a row, and my Pies are also coming off 2 wins in a row as well. But yeah, I'm going to be backing in my Pies to get the job done in this game. We had a very good performance last round against the Swans, so hopefully we can take a lot of confidence from that big win and, put it into this game as well, carry it over into this game as well, and hopefully get the job done over a very competitive Bulldogs outfit, especially at home at Marvel Stadium. I do think this is a little bit of a danger game for reasons that I've just said before, because the Dogs, they are sort of our bogey side, they play very well at their home stadium of Marvel Stadium. So I do think it is sort of a danger game for my Pies, but I do think we'll be, we'll be a little bit too good for the Dogs in this game, and hopefully get the job done. It's going to be a very entertaining and tightly contested game, I reckon, this one though. The Dogs, they're pushing at the moment, and they're wanting to get a top 4 spot, so I do think, they're going to bring their A game, the Dogs, in this one. But like I said before, I think we're going to be a little bit too good for the Dogs. I know we've got Maynard and Checkers out of this game, but Checkers didn't kick a goal last game against the Swans, and we still managed to get the job done. In fact, Checkers hasn't kicked a goal in the last 2 weeks, and we've still managed to get 2 wins in a row. So that is still... That's an impressive thing to take into this game. And, I know Braden Maynard is sort of a big loss because he is that, fiery character in the backline, but I still think, we've got a bit of depth in our squad that can cover Maynard and Checkers being out, and we're bringing in DeGoey as well, so that will be exciting to see him back. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in my Pies to get the job done over the Dogs. Come on, the Pies. Kicking off the Saturday bunch of games, we've got the Lions taking on the Eagles at the Gabba. The Lions are coming off that very big win against the Tigers, which was at the Gabba, and the Eagles, fair play to them. They were very competitive last round against the Saints. They only lost by a margin of 8 points in the end. So it was good to see them be competitive in that game. But yeah, I will be tipping the Lions in this game to get the job done and make it 4 wins in a row for themselves. I do think they're going to be too good for the Eagles in this game. Hopefully the Eagles can show that same level of competitiveness that they did against the Saints last round, but I do think it's going to be a little bit more tougher for them considering they're on the road, they're at the Gabba, and this season the Gabba has just been an absolute fortress for the Lions so far. And yeah, the Eagles, I do think they're going to find it very tough this game. I know Josh Dunkley's out, but the Lions, they still have a very, very good squad even without Josh Dunkley in there in the midfield. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Lions to get the job done over the Eagles in this game. But like I said before, I do hope the Eagles can show that same level of competitiveness that they did against the Saints last round. Next up on the Saturday roster, we've got the Giants taking on the Hawks at Giants Stadium. The Giants are coming off that 2-point win against the D's, while the Hawks are coming off a pretty big loss against the Blues, and now that is 2 big losses in a row for the Hawks, and they're coming up against a Giants side who have won 4 of their past 5 games. 4 of their past 5 games. And the game that they lost in between their 4 wins was against the Tigers. And it was only by a margin of 6 points as well. So even in that loss, they were very competitive in that one. So yeah, the Giants, they're in a bit of a good patch at the moment. Like I said, they've won their past 4 of their past 5 games. And yeah, now they're playing at home against the Hawks, who have lost 2 games in a row now by pretty hefty margins. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Giants to get the job done in this game, make it 4 wins in a row, and make it 5 wins from their past 6 games. What a pretty good feat that would be for the Giants. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Giants at home to get the job done over the Hawks. I do hope the Hawks make this game competitive and, you know, hopefully not get done by a big margin, because before they got done by a big margin, or 2 big margins in a row now, they actually, you know, were playing some decent footy. They beat the Lions. They were competitive in the second half against the Power, and they beat the Saints as well. So they were playing some half decent footy before they got done by 2 big margins in a row. So yeah, hopefully they can, you know, get back to a good level of competitiveness in this game against the Giants. But I do think the Giants at home will be too good. So yeah, I'm backing in the Giants to make it 4 wins on the bounce and beat the Hawks. All right, next up we've got the first Saturday night game at Marvel Stadium between the Saints and the D's. This is a bloody tough one to tip, this one. The Saints are coming off that 8-point win over the Eagles, while the D's are coming off that 2-point loss against the Giants. This is going to be such a tough game to tip, and it's going to be a very interesting game to watch as well. The D's are currently 4th on the ladder. The Saints are 5th on the ladder. They've both won 9 games, and they've both lost 6 games as well. So it's a very, you know, it's a tough one to tip, but I am going to be tipping the D's in this one. I think they're going to be too good. Surely they're too good to lose 3 games in a row, the D's. So yeah, I'm going to be backing the D's to bounce back from 2 losses in a row, and hopefully, for my tipping sake, they can get the job done in this game. I mean, I can see how the Saints can get the job done in this game. It's at their home stadium. It's at Marvel Stadium. They're facing the D's, who are in a bit of a form slump at the moment, and, you know, who haven't been that accurate in front of goals as well, the D's. So yeah, you know, there is a chance that the Saints can get the job done in this game. But like I said, you know, surely the D's are too good to lose 3 in a row. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the D's to get the job done against the Saints in this one. But I do think it's going to be a very competitive game, and like I said, I can see how the Saints can get the job done in this one. But I'm going to be backing in the D's as my final tip over the Saints in this game. Next up, we've got the last of the Saturday games and the second Saturday night game. This one is between Port Adelaide and the Gold Coast Suns. Port Adelaide are coming off that exhilarating 4-point win after the siren against the Bombers. Dan Houston, eat your heart out. Well, the Suns are coming off a 78-point loss against my Pies. Yeah, I'm going to be backing in Port Adelaide in this game. They're at home. They're facing a Suns side who are coming off a big loss. And, you know, the Power, they're just on that ridiculous winning streak at the moment. So, yeah, I do think they're going to add another win into their crazy winning streak that they have going at the moment. So yeah, I'm backing in Port Adelaide to beat the Suns in this game. Hopefully the Suns can be a bit more competitive than they were last round against my Pies and make this game sort of interesting to watch. But yeah, I still think Port Adelaide will be too good in this game and add another win into their crazy winning streak. So yeah, I'm backing in the Power at home against the Suns. The next game we have is the first game of the Sunday games. It is between Geelong and North Melbourne. Geelong are coming off that draw against the Swans, while the Kangaroos are coming off that hefty loss against the Crows. Yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Cats in this game to get the job done. It is at home. It's at the Cattery. It is at the Cattery, and it is against a North Melbourne side who are, unfortunately, you know, on a bit of a loss streak at the moment. They've lost their past 5 games that I can see. And yeah, you know, Geelong at the Cattery, they're a hard team to beat down in Geelong. It seems like the Giants are the only team that know how to get the job done against the Cats at the Cattery at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Cats to get the job done over the Kangaroos. I do hope the Kangaroos can be, you know, competitive in this game. They were competitive in parts against the Crows last round before, you know, getting blown out the water a little bit and being handed a, you know, pretty hefty loss. But yeah, I you know, hopefully North Melbourne can, you know, be competitive in this game, and hopefully they don't get blown out of the water. But yeah, I do think, you know, the Cats at home, they'll be too good for North Melbourne. So yeah, I'm backing in the Cats in this game against the Kangaroos. Next up, we've got the Bombers taking on the Crows at Marvel Stadium. What a game this will be. The Bombers are coming off that heart-stopping loss after the siren against the Power. Well, the Crows are coming off that pretty hefty win against North Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. What a game this will be. It's going to be a big test for the Crows. Another game away from home. They've only won 1 game away from home, and that was against the Hawks down in Tasmania, and that was only by a 3-point margin as well. But yeah, the Crows are coming off a very big win last round, while the Bombers are coming off a devastating loss, and, you know, they're coming off 2 losses in a row now, the Bombers. And looking at the form as well, you know, both teams have won 3 games and lost 2 out of their last 5 games as well. So it's a tough game to tip, this one. But yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Bombers to get the job done in this game over the Crows. I don't know what it is, but, you know, the Bombers, they got done after the siren against the second team on the ladder last round. So they didn't play too bad last round. So yeah, I do think the Bombers are going to bounce back in this game after that heartbreaking loss against the Power last round after the siren. So yeah, I'm backing in the Bombers to get the job done over the Crows in this game. I do think it's going to be a very, very tightly contested game, this one, though. You know, the Crows, they're playing some decent footy, but like I said, they haven't been that good away from home this season. I mean, most of their wins have been at home at the Adelaide Oval this season. So, you know, this is going to be a big test for them. I can see how they can get the job done in this game. I mean, they've got a pretty good midfield. They've got a decent forward line. If that can connect on Saturday, it could be absolute chaos for the Bombers. But at home, at Marvel Stadium, where, you know, the Bombers, they do pretty well at Marvel Stadium, I am going to be backing in the Bombers to get the job done over the Crows in this game. But I do think it's going to be a small margin win. Whoever wins this game, I do think they're going to win by a small margin. But for my tip, I am tipping the Bombers in this one. All right, and here we go. This is the last game of the round. This one is between the Dockers and the Blues at Optus Stadium. The Dockers are coming off that 29-point loss to the hands of the Western Bulldogs, while the Blues are coming off a pretty hefty win against the Hawks. What an interesting and entertaining game this will be to watch. You know, the Blues are coming off some big wins, 2 big wins in a row now, while the Dockers have sort of been on a roller coaster form-wise at the moment. You know, they lost to the Dogs last round by 29 points. The round before that, they beat the Bombers by 32 points, and the round before that, they got done by a pretty hefty margin against the Giants. So they're on a bit of a roller coaster at the moment, the Dockers, but at home in front of their home fans, I do think the Dockers will be able to get the job done over the Blues in this one. It's in WA, it's at Optus Stadium. We know that the Blues aren't really scared of WA at the moment. And these two have had some pretty classic games in recent years in WA. So it's going to be a very entertaining and very competitive game, I reckon, this game. But I do think the Dockers, they'll want to bounce back from that disappointing 29-point loss against the Dogs. I mean, you know, the Dockers, they did have a few chances to maybe win that game last round. I mean, they were in that game for the majority of that game against the Dogs. But that goes to show how good the Dogs are playing at the moment, and, you know, how good their footy is at the moment, the Dogs. But yeah, I do think the Dockers will want to bounce back from that disappointing loss. And yeah, I do think they're going to do that in front of their home fans. So yeah, I'm backing in the Dockers over the Blues in this game. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my round 17 tips done and dusted. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, leave your round 17 tips in the comments below. Maybe compare them to mine as well. But yeah, cheers guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in another video very soon. Cheers.